on my own today, I'm afraid. He was helping me out yesterday, but apparently I talked too much, so apologies.
It was me, I talked to him.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Are you having a good time today? Who said no? So we might as well start with questions. I don't know who's got the mics, but presumably if you stick your hand up, it'll come over to you.
I'll get this one there if you want. You're in the middle, so we can straight to
Have we got any youngsters with us? Yeah, we've got a few, haven't we?
Yeah.
So I'm going to temper my tortured stories, I'm afraid. Hello. Hello, darling.
Two torture-related questions.
Yes.
The first one is, was it quite a blow to your ego that they decided to immortalise a weevil as an action figure rather than you? And secondly, with Owen being such an unlikable character...
An ass, yes. Let's be honest, get it out there. Look, I disliked him as much as many people do. Well, I loved him as well.
Is it a worry when you get a script with a character like that no one's going to care enough about him? Or do you just go with it and enjoy being an arse?
Well, I'll answer the second question first. Here's my child. No. Basically, with a face like this, you have to sort of work with what you've got, right? So for some reason, I get to play bad guys a lot of the time, which is great. There's lots of work, and long may it continue. But to be honest, they're the most interesting characters. Like, all of us are not, we've got grey areas and messy areas. We're humans, none of us are perfect. And I thought that at least Owen, he had a sort of spiky exterior, but a soft interior. And I hope that over the course of the 2 seasons that I was there, we got to see a bit of, a bit of the human, as it were. But to be honest, it's always great when you get a script and there's somebody being an arse, because it's much more interesting than being a good guy, if I'm honest with you. And the first question in regards to the action figure, the story goes like this. So the BBC or whoever made the figures send out a proof of a model, like a one that they've made. They'll send you pictures. And the one that I got looked like a cross between Dame Edna Everage and somebody, somebody who looked a bit odd. So I was a bit like, well, it doesn't look anything like me. And then by that time, I'd been killed off. And so I never sort of said, yeah, let's go for it. And put it that way, it's far more exclusive, darling. I mean, I can't remember what the second question was again. But yeah, in response to that, there's a couple of Owen figures somewhere, but I can't divulge where they're going.
Any more questions, folks? Do we have any yet? There's one just there. I'll be you, sir, and then we'll get a mic to the lady over there. Hiya.
I was wondering if you still have the undying hate for the SUV?
Yeah, that SUV in Tortured, I swear to God, like a secret, I think most of you knew, but when I actually started driving the SUV, I hadn't passed my driving test. So the first day that I was in it, I had the rest of the cast in with me. I was like, okay, I might kill them. And so I mean, I've driven cars before and stuff like that, and I'd always had motorbikes. So I just said to John, look, do you want to drive this? And he was like, yeah, of course I do. And then, and so after that, it was great. We had some very, very funny times in there. You can imagine you're stuck in there and there's a camera on the front of the SUV and there's also a camera on the side as well. So you can't really get out the doors. They had this little glitch where you could heat the seats, but it was a button that nobody could see. So you could turn on the other person's seat to get really hot without them knowing. So basically all the time you'd be sat there and suddenly you'd be like, oh! It was usually Eve turning on mine, but yeah, we had a great laugh, and I still to this day hate the SUV. I like Range Rovers and Land Rovers, but yeah, that was it was always falling apart as well, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, fun.
Hello. I was just wondering, are there any clean practical jokes you can share from Torchwood?
Clean, practical jokes? None. No, as you can imagine, and I don't know who has met Eve or John before or Gareth, you know, we had a very, very, very funny time. And we just, you know, we worked hard, but we played hard as well. And I'm afraid most of them are completely obscene. And there are children here, so no, I can't.
Cover their ears.
You know, funny things come to mind. Like, we went out to this, we filmed Countryside, which was episode 4 of series 1, out in the Brecon Beacons, and we were sort of let out of Cardiff, and you know, and I got accused of stealing a bathtub by the hotel establishment, and I was like, it was a huge, great big, you know, one of these massive bathtubs with roll top legs, and they were like, well, we think you tried to steal it for some reason. But yeah, I'm afraid I can't really tell you anything else that isn't 18 with John and Eve involved.
Any more questions, guys? Please keep your hands up, okay? We'll get one up to the young gentleman there. I thought I seen a hand up there. I might just be seeing things, which is scary.
Hey, did you ever steal anything from the set?
Liar.
I couldn't possibly say. I'll be honest with you, I think I've been out long enough. Our set was next to the David Tennant's TARDIS. We would pass through the TARDIS to get to our set. On the last day of filming, of my filming, I was like, oh. And they'd stopped filming at that point. And there was loads of, obviously on his console, there was loads of little bits and pieces, and all of us were in there, we just like broke a few things off, got that, got this. And also, I can divulge this. There was a key. It was a round key that fitted into the drift. It was actually the drift key. And it may be that somewhere in my house, possibly, that may be in my house somewhere. But I like I say, I can neither deny or confirm. But actually, we were very good. You know, the guys who made the props were consummate professionals and wonderful, wonderful people. But obviously, most things were pretty much, you know, they would either, they're in, you know, there's a lot of exhibitions now and stuff like that. But, yeah, we had some great fun with the Risen Mitten. Yeah, that was, again, mostly obscene. But that was one of the fun things about Torture. We got some really interesting stuff to play with, you know. It was, and Naoko was always breaking it as well, you know, like the ghost machine. She'd always drop it and it would smash. But they were actually very well made. The guns were really heavy because they were replicas, but they had like full magazine replicas. So if you notice, sometimes, especially in season 2, there's often shots where we're kind of holding up for a long time and it kind of looks really lame as we're kind of holding it up and then it falls down. But yeah, we had some great fun. It was good time.
There's a young lady right over the back there. On you go.
Hello.
Hi, I have a Pacific Rim themed question.
Yeah, sure.
If the world were actually became the Pacific Rim and you were a Jaeger pilot, what would you name your Jaeger?
I think I'd name it Kiss Your Ass Goodbye. No. That's a really good question. My favourite is Cherno Alpha, the industrial Russian one. You know, I love that kind of mono look, you know. So I think maybe something like Blood-Sucking Flower Fairy, or, you know, something like that. There is a Pacific Rim too, apparently, possibly, and I was working with Guillermo recently on Crimson Peak. That's his new gothic horror. Tom Hiddleston, who is just as sexy as you'd imagine. It's so annoying being around these people. I felt like Pumbaa next to him, you know. He was like Simba and I was, yeah. And Jessica Chastain, Charlie Hunnam, you know, they're all in it. And in fact, it's going to be incredible. But anyway, at that time, Guillermo was talking about the possibility of Pacific Rim 2, so we'll wait and see what happens. Fingers crossed.
Any more questions, guys? Any more? Oh, yeah, one right in the middle there. Just pass the mic.
Hello, mate.
I really do need game show music for this bit.
Right, were there any other roles you've had on Torchwood that you would say your favourite?
I've been very lucky as an actor. Again, because of this face, probably, I'm never going to play leading men, so you get to play the freaks and the weirdos, which is always the most interesting. The Dark Knight Rises was a very special one to me because it was obviously in the Batman canon. I'm a huge DC fan. Chris Nolan was a genius, and bye-bye, baby. It's not mine, I promise. He's a genius, so to work with him on the set was very disciplined and it's very quiet. It's a bit like you imagine working with Hitchcock. He wears a sort of suit and coat, and he has a flask of Earl Grey tea. He's very quiet, very disciplined. You walk onto the set and it's normally already lit. It's very calm, and so I just sort of shut up and got on with it. And also Tom Hardy was playing Bane. Tom was massive at the time, and still is, but so it was pretty intimidating, to be honest, walking on the set and he would be in the Bane character. I really wanted to have a go in the Batmobile and the Tumbler. I just wanted to nick it and joyride it. It was so tempting not to, but obviously, and the highlight was meeting Michael Caine and Morgan Freeman. It was just a dream come true. It really was. There was one incident where I was getting dragged up the stairs, and there was these dogs which were sort of barking and whatever, and the stunt guy with me, I think he got bitten actually, but we kept on with the scene. But it felt like you were in a movie. The scale was huge and the scenes were huge, and it was just a real buzz as an actor. It really was.
Any more questions out there? Gorman.
Is there any piece of Torchwood technology you'd really love to have?
Yeah, there's a few, I can tell you. There was a lot of technology that wasn't in the series that they'd come up with, the concept designers had come up with, and I always thought that was one of the most interesting parts of Torchwood. For me, Owen didn't know about the Doctor. He didn't know about that side of it. The hand came through, but he knew Jack was involved in alien technology, and he knew about other worlds and other but that was the thing that sort of turned him on, I suppose. And I don't know. I quite like the Ghost Machine, and the thing about that Tosh had to translate languages and to whatever. And also the ability to be able to hear what other people are thinking, that's always good, isn't it? But I think that's what was so good about Torchwood. It was one of those really, when we were filming it, it felt like we were kind of left to our own devices down in Cardiff, and we were called the small show, and they sort of left us alone and got on with Doctor Who. So we just had a really, really good time. It was time for me to go when I went. He couldn't really be a valid member of the team, his legs falling off as he ran after something, whatever, but I wish they kept Tosh alive. I think that would, that storyline would have been good in Children of Earth,
Question right in the front there.
I found it very emotional watching your last scenes. Did you find that emotional in film?
Yeah, it was very emotional to do those scenes, except for the fact, obviously, I didn't have Tosh's lines. It was actually the producer, Richard Stokes, I believe, was reading in. No offence to him, Richard, but he's no actor, so he would be reading in Tosh's lines in this very, posh London accent, whatever. But yeah, I knew it was my last scenes, and I'd had a great time on it. And so, but like most things with acting, luckily I've got onto other things, but you sort of, one door closes and another one opens. And as a Who fan, I've been able to sort of, you know, enjoy that side of it and you know, keep that going. Did anyone watch last night? Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
No spoilers. All right, okay. But yeah, I love the fact that it can go on. And although Torchwood was, you know, only a sort of spin-off, you know, I still feel like it was part of the canon, but not something that Owen could ever go into. I think that the tone of Owen and the age range thing would not be suitable for Doctor Who. But I just can't wait to keep seeing what they all do. You know.
Any more questions, guys? Please get your hands up there. Oh yeah, the young lady up there in the red sock.
It's
Oh, yeah.
kind of a simple reason, but obviously it's very apocalyptic film. If you're to pick an type of apocalypse to be involved in, which one do you think most fun?
Well, it's not exactly a cheery subject, is it? But
Well, interesting.
yes. Well, perhaps. Oh God, I don't know. I think something that is short and sweet, don't you? I mean, you don't really want to know it's coming, do you? I suppose. And yes, yeah. Oh God, how depressing. No, I'm not sure. Sorry.
We'll get Anita one to you, Pat, don't worry.
Hi, darling.
So you're part of Game of Thrones, which is one of the biggest, most amazing, in my opinion,
That was
TV
great.
shows.
Yeah.
Is there any other sort of TV show you'd like to be involved in, whether or not it's just finished, like Breaking Bad, or ones that are going on at the moment?
I'm very lucky. I'm filming a series called Turn at the moment, which is about the American Revolution, which sounds really boring. But it's about Washington, George Washington set up, true story, set up a spy ring, which was never discovered until about 1930. I love doing costume dramas because, again, with this face, you know, you get that sort of work. And I've got a really good part in it, playing another. Actually, he's not a bastard. He's a nice guy. But I love historical period dramas and stuff like that. And you know, long may it continue. I've gone to America at the moment. I'm an American citizen, and I feel like this so-called golden age of television. You know, it really is an amazing. I don't know about you lot, but if I watch a new series, I'll watch like 2 or 3, and if it doesn't catch me straight away, I'll just go to another series because we're sort of spoiled for choice. Game of Thrones was one that I really wanted to be in, and I sort of got in touch with him and said, you know, I'll do anything in it. And in series 3, I had like 2 lines with her. But I feel so proud to have been part of it, and I was there for my birthday. Me and my sister, who's here actually, we went up to Bushmills Distillery, and we may have had a drink or 2, and then I spent my birthday fighting Kit Harington, which is, you know, never a bad thing. But they're actually a really nice bunch of people, a very, like, extremely, you know, good bunch, and yeah, it was great to do. I mean, I'm a lifelong Star Wars fan, so, you know, that's where it all started for me, and perhaps not this one with JJ, but as the films go on, and I believe there's going to be a TV series at some point, perhaps, that's certainly a universe that I would like to come in, and even if it was in some cantina somewhere as a barmaid with, you know, 9 breasts or something, I don't care. You know, it's what started it all for me as a sci-fi fan, and yeah, I would love to do that.
Okay, we've got time for one last question, so no pressure.
No pressure, yeah.
Just if you could be anyone else in the Game of Thrones, who would you be?
Hold on. Have you met Christian? He's here today.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the loveliest, sweetest guy. Yeah, that's quite a difficult one actually. I wouldn't mind hanging out with Khaleesi for a while. That might be fun. But it's difficult, isn't it? Because they're in such different worlds. Like Julian Glover, who plays Marcel, was here yesterday. He films in Croatia, Malta. They have a lovely time in the sun. Kit and the rest of the Night's Watch, they're like Iceland, Belfast. There's lots of big shit, lots of dirt and dust, you know. So it's almost like there's two different worlds. I enjoy being part of the Night's Watch, I've got to be honest. They're a good bunch of people, and who knows what's going to happen, you know. And I was trying to persuade them to bring me back as a White Walker, but they don't seem to listen.
Shame on them.
Tall enough.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. No, actually, I just checked my copy there. One quick question. Who wants to be the very last question of the please don't make me ask.
Again, no pressure.
Yeah, okay then. There you go.
If you could choose a death team, what would it be?
Well, it's come to my attention that I seem to die in a number of things. I'm not exactly on Sean Bean level at this stage, but I'm starting to think I should get it written in my contract that I do die in everything. Death by sex is always good, isn't it? I don't think I've had one of those. Perhaps some exploding sex gas or something like that. Actually, the sex scene is always really embarrassing to film. I'm sure any actor will tell you that, because there's always a sort of, 50-stone grip hanging over you with his arse out, and loads of electricians watching, because they have to, But yeah, I think that's my answer. Yeah, and in fact, that's my answer to the apocalypse. I mean, it's a great way to go.
Okay, guys, time as run out. Please go absolutely crazy for Bum Gorman.
Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much.